What's going on YouTube? While the go-to family vehicle has increasingly shifted from midsize sedans to compact crossovers, the fact of the matter is that these sedans are still very popular. Two of the longest running nameplates are the Honda Accord and Nissan Altima, and both these models are either heavily updated or fully redesigned recently. So that begs the question, which midsize sedan is the ultimate in affordable, spacious, and stylish transportation? Let's go ahead and find out. So for this face-off comparison, let's begin by establishing the pricing and equipment levels. We've chosen the volume selling trim level of the Altima, called SR, which gives sporty design while also a good amount of equipment. It rings in at a pretty affordable $32,310 with a few optional pieces of equipment. Now for the all-new Accord, similar money is going to get you the volume selling sport trim. That model has an as-tested price tag of $33,745 after optional paint and the destination charge. Now this is going to be an objective comparison. We have done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories, but at the end of the comparison we will sum up with our thoughts and revisit the price difference for a value assessment. But now let's get into the comparison. Looking at these two rivals side by side, you'll begin to notice a design trend that you'll see repeat itself throughout. While both are in their sport trim levels, the all-new Accord goes for a more mature, modest look with a small trapezoidal black grille. The Altima certainly goes a step further ever since its refresh last year, with Nissan's V-Motion grille extending all the way down to the bottom of the vehicle. Now for lighting, both have premium LED headlights on all trim levels. The Altima does have a slightly more advanced setup with projector LED low beams, while both have reflector LED high beams and LED turn signal indicators. Moving along to the sides, these two have a remarkably similar look, with the Honda coming in a couple inches longer in overall length. As you'll see later, that will make a difference when it comes to interior space. But until then, both have sharp-looking 19-inch contrast alloy wheels to spice up the designs. Around back, the designs start to differ more when it comes to overall shape and features. While both have lip spoilers, the Honda has full-length LED taillights, whereas the Altima has cheaper incandescent lighting. Fighting back, only the Nissan offers dual exposed exhaust outlets. Now as far as other features, both models' mirrors are finished in a black housing and have blind spot monitoring. Keep in mind, neither sedan offers mirror heating at this price point. Now as far as active safety features are concerned, the Honda has all four main active safety features as standard, whereas the Nissan only includes two of those systems. Adaptive cruise control and lane keeping assist aren't offered on this SR trim, but Nissan does include rear auto braking on all trim levels, which is something reserved for just the Accord Touring. For warranties, they both have the same basic and powertrain warranties, but only the Accord is including 2 years of complimentary maintenance. But you'll be spending most of your time inside the cabins, so now let's check out those. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
Walking up to the vehicles, both have smart entry systems with built-in remote start. The Accord includes a sensor behind the door handle to unlock the door seamlessly. And after opening up the doors, you'll see nicely finished and modern looking cabins for their price tags. But before we dig into all the similarities and differences, let's first talk seating. Right off the bat, you'll notice the Altima has full leatherette seating, while the Accord comes with cloth seats in this new generation. However, it's the Accord that has more adjustability since it has 12-way power seats compared to the Altima's 10-ways. Finally, and very importantly for a lot of you guys in colder climates, the Accord Sport does not include heated seats, which the Altima does have at this price. Once inside, we can talk about the cabin materials. Both use a nice mixture of leatherette, soft-touch plastics, and feel solid. While the leatherette is used in different places, both are similar in overall material quality, so no points will be given here. After firing up the cars, you'll see a big difference between the two. The Nissan is rocking an old-school analog gauge setup with a 7-inch helper display, and the Honda has a full digital 10.2-inch cluster. That allows for extra information and design customizability. And coming back to the steering wheels, both are leather-wrapped, manual adjusting, and not heated. Now, Hondas always excel when it comes to interior storage, and with the all-new Accord, this is no exception. While the Altima puts up a really good fight and is large, the Accord center console is deeper, longer, and has a larger front storage tray, all of which will give it the point for this major category. One of the features the Honda sacrifices until the touring trim, though, is the wireless phone charging pad, which the Altima does have. Heading to the shifters, we have the same traditional kind, and when in reverse, we have backup cameras with guidelines, and additional parking sensors on the Altima. Only the Accord, though, has an electronic parking brake with brake hold at this price point. Past that, for climate, we once again have a big difference. The Accord gives you a premium dual-zone automatic climate control system, and until you get the loaded Altima, it will be a fully manual setup. Let's take a second to evaluate the audio systems. Bose audio systems are available for audiophiles, but the base ones are more than adequate for most needs. We'll give the slight edge to the Accord with its 2 extra speakers. Now, this has been a hard-fought battle so far, and that's going to continue with the infotainment systems. The Accord really upped the tech for the all-new model, with a 12.3-inch crisp display and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto functionality. Not to be outdone though, the Altima also got a 12.3-inch high-resolution display with those same functionalities. Hands down, these are 2 of the best infotainment systems in the entire segment. And wrapping up the front, they are mirror images of each other, including the manual dimming mirrors and standard-size sunroofs. But now let's head to the rear areas where once again Honda's packaging and extra length come in handy. Starting with space, both sedans are very large, but the Accord is the class leader in rear legroom. It offers about 15% more legroom, although headroom is almost exactly the same. Once in the back, we have some feature differences as well. Neither have vents, but we do have USB ports on the Altima. Accord also offers USB ports and even heated rear seats, but they do require moving up the trim structure. Just like the rear seats, Accord's extra space pays off in the trunk. It has 16.7 cubic feet of space versus 15.4 in the Altima, which is about 8% more space for those of you with a lot of stuff that you need to haul around. Just be aware that only the Altima includes a spare tire due to the Accord's hybrid system, which we are getting ready to talk about. And that's the perfect segue to the next round, where we will take this close fight to the streets. In the powertrain department, you're going to see that Nissan and Honda went completely different routes for these midsize sedans. The reason why? Most trims of the new Accord, including the Sport model, are available as exclusively hybrid. Currently, the Altima is not available in hybrid form at all, which means it has a traditional 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, making 188 horsepower, while the Accord uses a 2-liter 4-cylinder paired to 2 electric motors to make 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. As you would expect, that means the Accord is quite a bit faster, and the extra torque is especially felt.
Nice.
Alright, there we are. 60 miles per hour in the Accord Sport. So of course the big thing with this next generation Accord is the fact that most of the trim levels are going to be hybrid exclusive this year, and pretty much most of the trim levels that you're going to want to buy, just the lower two, are the gas powered exclusively. So that does mean we've got more power than the previous hybrid system because we've got the new generation, the fourth generation of Honda's two-motor hybrid system. 204 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque. Like I said, both of those are going to be up from the previous generation of the hybrid system.
Yeah, and I definitely will say the nearly 250 pound-feet of torque definitely pushes you back in your seat as you accelerate off. And, we say this about a lot of hybrids, but you really can feel that over a gas-powered version, the initial torque that you get from the electric motors, kicking off. So it feels even spunkier than I think the power figures suggest.
Alright, so there's an acceleration up to close to 60 miles an hour. We're a little bit spoiled by the red light coming up here, but it just gives you a little taste of the overall performance. The Altima really is pretty much in line with most of the competition in this segment. We have that 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine that we mentioned earlier, 188 horsepower, 180 pound-feet of torque, again, kind of right in the heart of the segment, and overall acceleration is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Now the other aspect of the powertrain is the transmissions. We have a CVT in the Altima and an eCVT in the Accord. Mechanically, these are not the same, but overall operation will feel very similar to the average person. Both of them also use shift simulation to avoid drone, but only the Altima is available with all-wheel drive for those who live in colder climates. What you do have on board is basically a eCVT, you could call it. It's not really a traditional CVT, but it does have performance kind of like a CVT. But the good thing that Honda has done here, compared to the previous generation, is add a nice shift simulation. And of course, the other element of the powertrain, which we can go ahead and talk about right now, is the fact that we have a continuously variable transmission. You may not have even noticed it at first because Nissan does a pretty aggressive shift simulation these days. The latest version of their CVT is a lot different than what it used to be, say 5 years ago. The shift simulation feels very realistic because you do actually have that change in torque, power, and all that sound, of course. And overall, it's really responsive. You don't really feel like you're waiting on that rubber bandy feel like you used to back in the old days. Fighting back, the Accord feels quite rewarding behind the wheel with an agile chassis, balanced handling, and quick steering. It's not that the Altima is bad per se, but the Honda is the choice for the enthusiast, since they bring in a lot more of their sporty heritage into even their mainstream models. So I went ahead and clicked the Accord into sport mode now that we're out on a canyon road here in California. And, historically this has been one of my favorite things about the Accord is that it puts driving dynamics a lot higher than some of the competition. Honda is always really good about kind of baking in those good handling characteristics, and the previous generation was very impressive in that regard. Now, behind the wheel of this new generation, I have to say I'm very happy with this as well. We're kind of going around some corners here, and I'm getting a feel of things, and I'm really liking what I'm feeling. We have great balance, very good body control, almost no body roll. Ride quality-wise, they are both comfortable, but when it comes to quietness in the cabins, the Altima has the advantage. When both were tested on a smooth Kentucky road, it came in about 1.5 decibels quieter, a difference noticeable to the average driver.
So here we are, 55. Pretty impressive. There we are, sitting at 56.6 decibels. 54.9 is our official Car Confections sound level reading, going 55 miles an hour. Thanks for holding in that cough.
Finally, as you might have predicted, is the Accord Hybrid that has the better fuel economy. It gets 13 miles per gallon better combined, which translates to a lot of savings over the time you own it. But now that we've gone through everything, let's return to the price difference and account for that. The Accord in this test rang in $1,435 more expensive than the Altima, meaning that the Nissan will get 1 point.
So there you have it. These two fought a hard battle. But let's go ahead and talk about who should be your winner, because that's going to vary depending on what your preferences are. The Accord should be your winner if you're looking for the maximum rear space as well as the maximum cargo capacity. That trunk is going to be very large. Honda is very good at maximizing interior space above the competition. You also should choose the Accord if you're looking for hybrid power. The Altima does not have a hybrid powertrain. Many of the Accord trims come standard with it, and it gets excellent fuel economy. Lastly, you do have some additional active safety features that are going to be standard on all of the trim levels.
And the Altima should be your winner if you value that more affordable price tag. In this comparison, it's about $1,100 cheaper than the Accord. Additionally, it is going to have a few more premium features than the Accord as equipped. You have the leatherette seats on that model, as well as heated seats. So if you live in a colder climate and you're really topping out at that $32,000 price point, the Altima will be your choice. Additionally, if you don't like hybrids, the Accord is going to be one of those vehicles that locks you into a hybrid system in the sport trim level. But we want to know your thoughts on this battle. Which Japanese rival are you taking? Be sure to comment that down below and let us know, because we're actually very curious as to which model you would take. If you're already a part of our Car Confections family, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're not, we invite you in and would love for you to subscribe to the channel. By subscribing, you allow us to make more of these comparisons as well as more automotive content in general. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.